Hello. So, wanted to give an update on my completely procedural model. Um, so I've been talking with some people who are actually, artists. I am not. I'm an engineer. Um, about my model, and I was showing them. They kept asking for topology, topology, topology. I'm like, what, does it really matter? And they're like, yes, it really, really matters. So I decided to redo the head, and this is completely done in geometry nodes. Every piece of this is geometry nodes. Even well, the skin texture is not geometry nodes itself, but it is procedural. Um, but this is what it's looked like so far. Um, I was just going to do the head this way, but they kept harping on the topology. So um, here is a picture of the topology. And this is not automated. This is just me slowly dragging my mouse. Now there are some glitches, like right here, uh, and this will happen when because you're using quads. If it doesn't form a single plane, you'll get artifacts like this. It's simply just got to move one or more of the corners to form a plane. So that's no big deal to fix. This is the same thing, but you know what? I'm going to leave that because that actually looks normal. I mean, you will see creases like that around the ears in real life. So, and I think there was another one like right there. And like some of these creases, I'm just going to leave in because they look normal. I mean, they look like stretch marks. That one I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get rid of, and that one I'm gonna get rid of, but that's later. Little fine little things like that I'm not gonna mess with. And yes, I'm quite well aware that that is way too thick, uh, but that is uh, a fine detail that I haven't got to yet. Oh, that is really big. I'll have to fix that one too. Um, it's I haven't got to it yet because what I'm going to do is originally I had this attached to a sphere that I created, and it was giving me all kinds of problems. Not because it was the sphere, but because when I tried to rotate it, it would realign the sphere and the connections wouldn't line up correct, and it was just. So I deleted the sphere, and what I'm going to do is just use extrude and extrude out a sphere that way. And the way I made this particular version is extrude. That's it. Like there's only 3 nodes that I use for this, or 3 functional nodes, and that is extrude, set position, and merge by distance. That's the only 3 real nodes that you need, functional nodes. You still need position, um, and of course they're on the same side as the other because this is all mirrored. Um, but I'll take it into geometry nodes to show you. The whole thing is right here. That's all it is. Um, like I even have it using the temporary viewer is to this node right here. So the entire head is in this chunk here. But if I disable, no, this one. If I disable this one, you can see it's half a head. You can see, the inside. So what does the backside of a head look like? You notice I don't have the mouth yet built out yet. Eventually I'll get there, and eventually I'll build out the sphere around the eye, but I'm not at that point yet. Um, let's see. I think I should be able to just show you like one piece at a time. Like there is the eye framing, and I'll take you inside because people are like, "Oh, you're just use the model." No, no, this is where's the beginning? All right, so yeah, curve circle, and let's go ahead and highlight this. So curve circle, and transform it into kind of, you know, that thingy right there. And then, you know, move positions of the different points until I get like an eye. Then let's go show right there. Let's take these one at a time. So curve to mesh. And this is just a curved line that just goes nowhere. It's just vertical. Curve to mesh. And extruding out. I don't have a texture specifically for like internal parts like the inside of your mouth and like the corner of your eyes, so I'm just using the lip texture as a placeholder. Extrude, scale elements, set material for the next part, so you'll have the lips on the inside and the skin on the next. And, you know, that's really thick. That's, you know, actually I can fix that right now. Which part is that? 0.002. There. Fixed. I think that's fixed. It might actually be this one. So let's back up a little bit. Okay, so 005, and let's change this one. Alright. Let's back out and see how that looks. Get to the front of the head. That still looks too thick. Did I change the right thing? 0.002. Negative 0.002. Negative 0.003. Yeah. That still might be a little bit too thick. 4. Yeah, that looks about right. So yeah, you can see this is all made by hand, or made by geometry nodes. That's the eyeball that comes in. Scales it, set positions. These are all just moving different positions of points one at a time. I don't know if you can even notice it on here. Like if you do it one at a time, you can't really notice it. And this transforms it over to where the head position would be. And what it does is I want you to notice this part right here. The geometry of the eye socket actually goes into the nose. And the reason I do that is I gotta scroll way out. So what I do is I go from the eye and I extrude from the eye, and then I separate it out. And the reason I do that is because I use the index of the points, and sometimes like if I have to go back and rework the eye at all, it may have more or less points, and if I don't separate it out, the index numbers will change for every subsequent thing down the line, and everything breaks by having one little change in the first part. I actually had that problem happen. So by separating it out, every new piece starts with a new index number. And then I join them later on. And this is, let's see, Alt Shift. You can see it's separated out. Actually, if I turn off that, you can see it like one piece at a time. Extruding it out, setting positions, extrude, set positions, extrude, set positions. Yeah, it's over and over again. And boom, you got a nose. And then when you turn on subdivision surface, it looks like a nose. Well, half a nose. Then the nose goes into the mouth area. I don't know if I remember to... Oh, wow. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the mouth. That is a lot of points. Like, the mouth is 70 points. I think. No, the mouth is 92 points. And that's, like, almost none of the interior. And there are certain places where I have to... Like, I've got it set up for doing loop cuts. Like it does loops, and I just extrude the entire loop. But there are certain places where you have to add in extra geometry. And what I do for that is I do the extrude from the side. Right here, I have to create a split between this loop cut and this loop cut and add in this. So normally I extrude all the edges of the top of the previous extrusion. That's the easy way. And it just gets everything in the entire loop by getting the like where it extrudes and the selection. I'll just use the top of the previous one. I don't know if you can see that. Let's zoom in a little bit. So whatever the previous extrusion, it has a top, and I'll drag that over to the selection, and it gets the entire loop cut. But right here, this is coming off of the side. And the way I get these two edges to split is I will extrude this one, and then I'll extrude all the rest, and they will not be connected. And then I will extrude just from this side and connect the point here and set this point wherever I want. Then when I extrude this one, I connect the point there and connect the point there and merge them. So that's how you get extra topology in there. And that's absolutely critical. Let's see, the face. Yeah, the face, I actually forgot to separate the geometry out. So if I'm making any changes to the mouth and it adds in more points, it actually breaks the face. And the same thing, I think, with the back of the head. Yeah, I forgot to... Yeah. I forgot to separate it out. But the nose and the mouth, or excuse me, the nose and the eyes are separated out. And I did remember to separate it out for the neck. But there were places where I was making changes to the face, and it was breaking the ears. And it was just like, oh my gosh. Because it was... some of my merge by distance was merging at more points depending where I put it. Because especially in the mouth, there's a lot of points that are really, really close together. So it was breaking my index. But I can fix that. But if I do, I have to subtract out from every single one of these set positions. Every single one of them. All the indexes would have to be fixed all the way down the line. It can be done. It's tedious not doing it right now. If it ever gets to the point where I need to do it, I will definitely do it. Back of the head leaves out, space for the ears. The ears were insanely complex. It's just, I know that looks like a hot mess, doesn't it? I mean, it just looks horrific. But when you do the subdivision surface, it comes out pretty well, pretty decent. It's not great. I can definitely do better. Um, so I think it needs another loop like right here, so that it has the nice flat part right there. Um, but it does reasonably well. Probably could fix that little point right there. It's a little bit too low. But when you get your textures on, everything's good. And if you want to see, portion of the ear, you know, when it comes out, yeah. So, proof that I made this thing by hand. What else is there? And then turn the join back on. That's basically a mirror. When you mirror something in geometry nodes, you want to make sure you flip the faces, especially if you're joining the two together, because if you don't, you end up with a seam. And yeah, you end up with some weird stuff when you don't flip the faces. So if one face is facing one way and the other one's facing the other, and you try and join them together backwards, you'll get some crazy seams. But right now I am working on the shoulders. And put that back to, there you go. The reason that one's sticking up is I've extruded it, but I haven't placed them yet. So I've got it all set up to be placed. That's the next thing I gotta do. But that's without the extrusion. That's what it's supposed to look like. So we got a little topology starting right there for the chest and for the shoulder. So it's got some decent topology. Huh. That is strange because I only did one. Oh, I know why it does that. Okay. Because I was like, I only did one square, so it should only be doing one. But when you subdivide it, it actually becomes two. Okay. I was wondering how there was two new faces, but subdivision. See, that's what I made. And when you do the subdivision, it looks like you have two separate ones creating new faces. But yeah, that's not an actual triangle. That it does have four sides. Same with that one. It does have four sides. But I just wanted to give a demonstration. Enjoy.